when you're building a real world project, you will need to separate your code from the very beginning. You need to be organized, right? So you can't write everything in one file. For example, in our case, routes, these routes, they're going to be a lot of them. So we will be writing a lot of routes. So it doesn't make sense to write everything here. So let's move this to a different folder and we will export, import, and see how that works. Okay. So the first thing, you want to go and create a directory there. I'm going to open a new terminal window. I'll leave it running. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm still inside this project and I'm going to make a directory for routes. Okay. And inside that, I'm going to create a file called post.js. Okay. So these routes will be responsible for all the post related routes. Okay. So touch routes slash post.js. Okay, you could also just manually right click and create folder and files. Okay, I just like using terminal. Okay, so we have routes folder, we have post.js file, and here we can move this route here. We can still use this app.get method here. We just want to move this method, this callback function. Okay, so just copy that. Okay, leave it as it is, app.get / okay, just leave it as it is and then move the code here, this function. Okay, so callback function. So we can give it a name to this one, const, let's call it get posts. Later this route will be responsible for giving all the posts to the front end, right? Module.exports. Okay, and we can export like this as well, obviously. Okay, this way we can export this method here and then we can use here. So what we can do is bring in routes. Okay, so const post routes equals to require routes post. Okay, you don't need to write .js, just give it a file name. Okay, and you can call it anything you like, but I like to call it like this, prefixed with the name and the route, so it makes sense. Okay, now here previously we had the callback function. Now that function has moved to this file and we are exporting, we can easily use that here using post routes dot get posts, right? Okay, so this will still return the same text. Okay, so all we did is we extracted the method from here to a separate file, export from there, import here, and use here. Okay, now if you go, this should still work. Okay, okay, this can't be connected, something happened here. Cannot find module routes.post. Okay, because this is not Node.js core module or third-party module, this is our own module, so we need to prefix with the path name. Okay, so this is in the same directory inside this folder, so this way you can load this file. Perfect. Now let's go here and give it a refresh and we still see that. Beautiful. So we learned how to organize code. Now there is a better way as well. Instead of creating this module export, we can directly export, right? So get rid of the const exports dot. Okay, so this is nice and easy, very simple to use, easy to understand, right? Okay, so this way also we can simplify our code. Now we can go one step further and use object destructuring to even simplify our code. So instead of requiring like so, what we can do is we can just destructure what we want from that file. Later on this file you might have 10 different exports, 10 different methods. Okay, but you might not use all of them. So what you can do is you can just import the one you need. Okay, so here using this object destructure, you just give the method name that you want to require from this route. Okay, and then you can just use that here. Okay, it's much more simpler and very much readable as well. Okay, so save this file, and this is the preferred way I like to work. Okay, so Make sure everything is working. Refresh. Yep, perfectly fine.